Thank you, Miss Carmichael, for joining the unicorn team. Thank you so much. I will now show the new 9 viewers one finished project, and this here is one of the arm, as you can tell. Whoops, other side. That side, there we go. That side over there. That is the, this is the marionette cosplay that I am working on. As you can tell, the arm warmers and the leg warmers. I am going to be hand knitting. If anybody knows Five Nights at Freddy's, that is the music that we are listening to. And so this is one of the finished projects right here, as you can tell. This is one of the arm warmers. These here are going to be tied into the other side and made into buttons. I know the marionette don't have buttons except for right here on the breastplate, but I think it would be more doll-like and more puppety if he had or she had buttons holding on to it. Or I would just end up using these to tie it together to make it. So that is what we are currently working on here. I'm making my second one so far. So we are making sure that we get the exact rows counted that we need. Oh, a child's cardigan is so awesome. My first knitting project was a huge blanket for my 4-year-old and a tiny blanket for, at the time, newborn, but now he's 6 years old. He has done ripped it, and I don't know. I don't even know where those projects have gone to. I think they have completely misplaced them, or they're in the attic, and I have to just kind of stitch the knitting stitches back together because they're not holding the blanket together anymore. But as you can see here, we are almost done with the black. So it is time to go on to the second white stripe of the marionette arm warmer. Oh, well, happy early birthday to him if I don't see you or hear from you. That loud mouth that you probably hear barking in the background is my rescue pit bull, Batman. He's probably at the back door or at the back fence barking at the neighbors. Alright, let's see. Now let's see how many rows we have. We should have exactly 7 now, so let's see what we have. Again, always when you alright, sure thing, Angel. Always make sure whenever you are knitting, anytime that you are knitting, you always want to make sure that you are pulling the yarn thread from the hole here on the side of the knit ball, only because it's less likely to get tangled. And Miss Carmichael, you'll probably agree with me that a tangled yarn is a very bad thing because you will sit there for hours trying to untangle it and you just end up breaking the yarn because you get mad. So you always want to make sure that you use this side part of the hole to do it. Exactly. So, with that said, let's go ahead and see how many rows we have. We have Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we have exactly 7 rows. Now, if you remember, for anybody who's new to the stream or to the video on here, we have, I'm not counting the cast on, but I'm counting the knit stitches here. This here is 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we go. Oh yeah, I always try and make sure that I get it from the side here. I always make sure I try to get it from the middle here because it's easier for me. Now it is time to add a color. Now, this method here that I'm going to show you how to add a color is adding color and extra, you know, if you're trying to do a rainbow scarf or a multicolor or a pattern or anything like that, you always need, like we're doing a pattern here, we're doing a stripe, which means I'm going to be doing my white. So, it's the same method that you use for adding an extra yarn. If you ever run out of yarn, this is the same method that you use to add another color. So, this is my white, which obviously I have it here. And I have it to where it's coming out the side here. So what I want to make sure is that it's off to the side. If you have dogs or children, you want to make sure it's out of the way so it doesn't get in the way of them and they'll yank it and pull on it. So you find the end. You want to find the end. So this is, you won't need the black, but I always keep the black on until I have at least knitted a few. So you want to make sure that you are adding the color on the opposite side where you started the cast on. So that would be, if you're looking at the front of the project, you want to make sure that you're doing it on the right side. So it's very easy. This method that I'm going to show you is very easy, and hold on, I gotta let the Batman in because he's barking. And yes, I'm in my PJs. It is a today is just a relaxation stream of knitting. Alright, so back to the knits. So now I'm gonna tell you an easy method for me. You can do it yourself, or you can, if you're like Miss Carmichael and you've been knitting for a while, you can use your own method, but this is the easiest way for me. So you always want to make sure your knit is to the side and you're not getting it confused. So just like starting in knitting, you want to make sure that your yarn, now in the stream, it's going to not mirror me. So this is actually my left hand that I'm shaking right here. Hi, wave hi, okay? This is my left hand. I'm a right-hander, so I want to make sure that it's in my left hand, and you want to give it a little bit of a tail. I'm going to give it a lot of a tail because that's just how I am. Now, you just make a loop. Here's the short end, and here's the long end. You just make a loop, just like that, okay? Once you get the loop done, you take your working project in your left hand. I like to have the loop off and hold between these two fingers right here to make sure you don't lose it. Now you're just going to knit. That's all you're going to knit. Put your needle in like you're going to knit. You go just like you're going to knit, just like that. Now, you take the loop, okay, and you slip it on. Alright, you see that? That's all you do. You just take it, there's your needles right here, as if you just knitted. So you put it behind, just like that. you slip the loop on right here, and you pull through to make a knit stitch onto your right needle, on your working needle. Then you want to make sure you tighten the black or the other color besides the one that you're working on, and you pull that a little tight to make sure it doesn't come undone. Okay? Then I like to knit at least maybe one or two. I like to do 3. Me personally, I like to knit 3 with 2. See, there's 2 of them. There's the short. Here's the short end. Here's the short tail. Then here's the long one that's connected to the other side of your yarn. I want to grab both of them and knit 2 more knits. So, knit 1. And knit a second one. So now if you see, I have 3 knits with both strings. Now, you're going to drop your tail, which is this string here, which is the short one. You just drop it and take your actually working yarn. Make sure you pull on those tighten colors. And now you just knit with your new color. That's all you do. So you just make sure your tail is not going to combine with it. And you just
hey kids, nice
knit
to meet you.
with
Are you ready for some Fazbear pizza?
new yarn color or your new ball of yarn if you're adding another ball of yarn if you ran out with your previous one. And that is all you do, and now you knit. Now, after you get a few more on there with your new color or your new ball of yarn, you can go ahead now Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Sorry if I didn't read any of your chit chats right now, but I was watching my live stream so I can actually make sure that I was in frame while I showed you. Now that you actually knitted 1 or 2 stitches with your extra yarn and an extra ball of yarn, you can go ahead now and cut your tails. Okay? So make sure you don't cut the one that you're using. Don't cut that one. But you can see here that I still have my black connected. See? I still have my black yarn connected. I don't need that anymore. You can cut it off. So we pull the white one aside. And that white tail is a little long. We don't really need it that long. I do it a few inches below my final project. So I'm going to cut it about here. So snip. You can throw away the excess white tail that you don't need. And now the black yarn can be put aside for the next time you need it. And then your white yarn is what you need now. See? And then there you go. And now you can sit back, get comfortable, and continue knitting. And it's that simple. That's how